over there are the ruins of a pool. A pool that in Hebrew is called Bethesda. Chesed in Hebrew means, shh, guys. Chesed means mercy, house of mercy. So you know there was something here that had to do with helping, maybe a hospital even. 3,000 years ago, in the time of David, in the time of Solomon, there used to be one pool here. One pool that was used to clean the animals. Now let me explain. The animals, the sheep and the goats, were raised in Bethlehem, in Shepherd's Field. And they were brought here to the Temple Mountain to be sacrificed, right? Offering for the Lord. But you cannot offer an animal that is not clean. It's not any good. So they brought them here to this pool, they cleaned them, and from here it's mentioned a sheep gate. There used to be a gate here called the sheep gate, and probably a sheep market. It all connects, it all has a reason. From here they would send the animals through the sheep gate to be offered to the Lord. Later on in the Hellenistic period, two pools were built, were dug, and these were pools for the public, for day-to-day use, for cleaning themselves. More to clean themselves. And there used to be also a temple for the goddess of health. Whenever there is water, it has to do something with goddess of health. In the Roman period, these two pools were built even bigger, and these pools were used for the public. All except for the sick, the deformed, the people with some sort of death in their family. They were not allowed to enter, for they were accused of carrying an early sin. They were not allowed to enter the pool. Plus, if they enter the pool, they can make the others sick. Just when the pool ends, you have caves over there. These caves were formed by the water. This is the lower slopes of Mount Zion. And when it rains, the water seeps and dissolves the rock throughout the years. And springs would rise from there. There was a stream that would fill up these caves. And people, the sick, would enter these caves. Now, in ancient times, you did not have modern medicine, so you relied on natural water spring, hot water spring, anointing and miracles. These sick people probably used to bathe there. Maybe they even built a pool, a hospital called Bethesda, the house of mercy over there. So when Jesus came here, he did not go to the public pool, to the big public pool. By the way, the Crusaders built a big church between them. Now there's only ruins. But he came to these cave areas where the sick and the deformed would lay, with their belief that in a certain season the water would be stirred by an angel, and the first one in would be healed. Probably an ancient tradition. And over there, Yeshua, Jesus, met them and cured them. Now close by there is another church that is called St. Anne's and the Mother of Maria, and it's the birthplace of Maria by tradition. Now this church that was built 900 years ago was not destroyed by the Muslim, it was turned into a mosque. And now in the modern time, this mosque was made into a church, once again a Catholic church. Now let us read from John 5, 1 till 9.
After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first, after the stirring of the water, was made well of whatever disease he had. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there, and knew that he already had been in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me to the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed, and walk." And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed, and walked. And that day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said to him, who was cured, "It is the Sabbath. Is it not lawful for you to carry your bed?" He answered them, "He who made me well said to me, take up your bed and walk."
Okay.
Bethesda.
This is the bottom part of it. Kaya nakanak, hindi ka makababa. Sabi pwede daw kumuha ng 250 na lang.
Hindi ko na alam ito. Babaw mo.